What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing you guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid-fade on my boy, so stay tuned. We're starting off with our gold FX, making sure we create our first guideline, contouring to his head shape. Make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite hand and don't be afraid to move the ear out of your way. Now that we're done balding him out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You always want to make sure you make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. Now that we already created our guideline, we can slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 1 guard, we can move on to our half guard and erase the line completely. Make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite hand and use your corners. Now that we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our 2 guard all the way open and create our 4th guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get ready for the 1.5 guard. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated, man. Thank you. Now we're moving on to our 1.5 guard and we're going to erase the line completely. Make sure to use your corners and the lever. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using your 1.5 guard, so switching over to your 1 guard all the way open would definitely help. Here I'm detailing as much as possible and I'm switching back and forth between my 1.5 guard and my 1 guard all the way open. Now I'm using my half guard and I'm flicking out the line between the no guard all the way open and the one guard all the way open. Now we can use our clipper over a comb to create our silhouette and make sure our canvas is nice and clean. Now that we're done shaping up the hair, we can move on to our 3 guard all the way open and create our 5th guideline. This is going to help us blend into the bulk on top and also the lower guards on the sides. Again, we're going to make sure we use our clipper over comb to make sure the fade is as smooth as possible. When using clipper over comb, you want to make sure you use your vertical cuts to blend and your horizontal cuts to debulk. Moving on to his hairline, we're going to debulk the front because it's very dense there compared to the sides. The amount of hair we're taking off here is very small, so make sure you don't take off too much hair because your client will be very mad. Moving on to our NST outliners, we're going to start off at the middle and work our way to the sides. You always want to make sure you don't push the corners in too far deep and keep your vertical bars as natural as possible. Remember, this is not the finished product, the fade is not the finished product, and also the lineup is not the finished product. This is just what I'm able to catch on camera. Now we're connecting it to the other side, and you also want to make sure you keep your vertical bars as natural as possible. Always remember that. As you can see, the lineup is starting to come together. We're adding our finishing touches, especially on the side right here. When you're fading your sideburns, I always start off with my no guard all the way open, or I'll start off with my one guard all the way open and debulk a little bit before I start fading. Now I'm switching over to my one guard all the way open and then my half guard. Then the 1.5 guard and the 1 guard all the way open are the largest guards I'm gonna use on the beard. Moving on to the bottom of the beard, we're going to follow his natural jawline and line it up and make it as crispy as possible. Before we even started lining it up though, we combed the hair down and made sure everything was nice and laid down. Now that we're done with the beard, we can move on to our Turkish razor and Derby Premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're going to apply some shave gel so our razor could glide better. When using the razor, you want to make sure you stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand and keep the blade at a 45-degree angle. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone. If there's skin gonna take against the grain, make sure you go against the grain near the cheek area. It makes the beard pop out a little bit more. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you made it this far into the video, leave a comment down below of my subscriber count. I want to see if you guys are really paying attention. Hold on. I'm gonna get that on camera. I'm gonna leave that in.
Bro, definitely not want to have you fuck up my shit.
No, you're good. What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a high taper on my boy, so stay tuned. We're starting off at the back taper using our goat FX to create our first guideline. Remember, you want to create this guideline contouring to their head shape. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to the top and use our foreguard to debulk. Now that we're done debulking the top, we can move back to the taper and use our no guard all the way open to create our second guideline. You want to make sure you make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. Now we're going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way close to help us erase that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Remember, we're going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the one guard, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to the two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. This is going to help us blend into the bulk. We're going to use the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. We are near the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you spend more time here in detail. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Now we're moving on to our 3 guard all the way open, and this is going to blend into the 4 guard that we used on top. Here we're detailing as much as possible, and now we're switching over to the 4 guard all the way closed to make sure everything's nice and even. Now that we're done making sure everything is nice and even, we can move on to the neckline and use our goat FX to make them as crispy as possible. When lining it up, I always start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch using its corners, going slow enough that the hair feeds into the trimmer. You want to be very careful not to press too hard here because the skin is very thin and you could bite them. Now that we're done lining up the back of the ear, we can move on to our Goat FX and create our first guideline. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. Remember to slightly close the lever to blend out that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line, we're moving on to the half guard and erasing the line completely. Moving on to the 2 guard all the way open, we're going to create our 4th guideline and get this ready for the 1.5 guard. The 1.5 guard is going to help us connect the 2 to the 1 guard all the way open. Here we're detailing as much as possible with our previous guards. I went back to the ear line to make it more crispy, because once I was done fading, it revealed a few lines. Now we're heading back to the temple taper and we're making sure we detail as much as possible with our corners. Here we're using the 1 guard all the way open. Now we're moving on to a 4 guard all the way open and we're going to knock down the beard. After this, we're going to start with the no guard all the way open and start to blend in the sideburns. As you can see here, I'm using my opposite hand to stretch the skin as much as possible, and I'm slightly closing the lever to blend out that initial guideline. Here I'm debulking with the 1.5 guard all the way open, which is equivalent to a 2 guard closed. Now we're moving on to our Goat FX and we're going to line up the front of the ear, aka the back of the neck. Now we're moving on to our Goat FX and we're going to line up the back of the beard. You want to make sure not to take it too in because it will look unnatural. Moving on to his front hairline, we're going to start off at the middle and work our way to the sides. Remember, you want to make sure you go slow and make sure the hair feeds into the trimmer, because if not, then it won't line up properly. Make sure not to dig too deep into the corner, it will make it look unnatural. I'm starting to see that a lot more and it looks very weird. Now we're heading back to the middle and connecting it to the right side. Always make sure to use your comb to lay the hair down and then reline it up. Again, you want to make sure your vertical bars are as natural as possible, because if not, it won't look right. Before we move on to the blade, we're going to finish up the beard and make sure it's as crispy as possible. With very curly hair, you want to make sure the hair feeds into the trimmer, because if not, you're going to struggle. Now that we're done lining up the beard, we can move on to our Turkish razor Derby Premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. Remember to always apply shave gel to make the skin as smooth as possible. When using the razor, you also want to stretch the skin as much as possible while keeping the blade at a 45-degree angle so you don't cut them. Always ask before you go against the grain if the client can take against the grain. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe is greatly appreciated. Also, leave a comment down below, especially if you made it this far into the video, because I'm definitely going to reply to it.